I just had such an interesting coaching call with my clients, and it's a Monday morning. I just wrapped up the call. After that, I got a notification that a client of mine just sold over 1,700 memberships, and I thought it would be really nice to record an episode about some of the things I've been teaching my clients that have been helping them go above and beyond to get extraordinary results in their business. And I have a couple of mindset shifts I'd love to share with you about the current market, about what's happening in 2025, and what you need to pay attention to as an online business owner. So basically, expect an episode like a full-on motivational episode from me, okay? Let's dive in. By the way, side note, I was just setting up my microphones and everything, and I had everything set up, and then my microphone died, and I was like, no, I'm so energized right now. I have to record this episode right now, so I'm recording it with a different microphone. Apologies in advance if I get too close to it. Actually, let me also set up a backup recording. So this is literally, practicing what you preach. I preach taking perfectly imperfect action and also prioritizing your important work. So as I said, it's now Monday morning. I've just set up the backup recording. Hello, and welcome to Fail to Win, a show where we love to make mistakes and learn from them so you can turn your passion into profits and live life on your own terms. I'm Amy van der Putten from FastForwardAmy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode with simple strategies every Tuesday. I've had a really interesting morning, so once a month I do these morning sessions with my clients about sales, and I'm always teaching them what do you need to do to sell more, which types of content do you need to make. And today, whereas we dove in for about 25 minutes into how to create content that converts, the other 25 minutes I use to kind of help them shift their mindset. And that's what I want to do with you today too, because I had a couple of really big epiphanies in these past couple of weeks. And a lot of this podcast is obviously about failing to win, taking perfectly imperfect action, which is, I'm always trying to do that. But I've also noticed that sometimes we hold ourselves back a lot and we are waiting for the right time, or we're waiting until we figure out the perfect content structure to take more action. And I was kind of confronted with my own enemies, like myself as my own worst enemy last week. I was in a coaching call with someone who has amassed over 5 million followers in the past couple of years. And we got started about kind of at the same point in time. And I was on a call where she was sharing her recipes for success. And if I'm being honest, I learned nothing new on that call. But I'm always telling my clients and myself, what don't you know yet is one thing, but what do you know that you're not doing is a really big other thing. So I was telling my boyfriend on Friday, I was like, you know what, babe, that call inspired me so much because it showed me that there aren't any secrets out there that I don't know. The only difference is just that I'm not doing all the things that other woman is doing. And I let that inspire me. And we had this chat and my boyfriend was saying, yeah, but don't you think maybe the Netherlands or Belgium, you wouldn't be able to amass such a big audience. Are there 5 million people here? Or, the algorithm is different. And I was like, you know what, babe, some of those things might be true, but I don't want to go into the excuses. I just want to be really upfront and say that woman, she crushed it at her marketing. She kept going when I didn't. Because although I am extremely proud myself of what I've built in these past couple of years, I've done a lot in sales. I've coached a lot of clients. I've built big podcasts. I'm really, really proud of everything I've built. And I will also say that I've held back at times. And the reason for that, and I've shared about this, has been imposter syndrome. It has been fear of failure. It's been straight up being tired, all of the things that happen to all of the people. But there's one thing that I think we need to talk about that has been holding me back. And it might hold you back as well. And I hope to give you some of the inspiration and motivation I felt after that call last week. Because so often I see this happening with my clients. Sure, there's fear of failure. Sure, there's imposter syndrome. But there's this one tiny little devil that makes you play a smaller game. And I hope I can explain it the way I want to explain it to you. That tiny little devil is basically the fact that you don't think that it's possible. Let me tell you what I mean. So sometimes, for example, in Belgium, it could be that we think, well, content is nice and all, but we're not in the States, so we don't have the big audience, or I don't know if it could work for my type of business, or I don't know, even if I would do it, would it get me the results I would want to get? And I've noticed that myself and my clients, sometimes we waste space in our brain and energy not on doing the things like creating the videos and making the content, but on actually just thinking about the fact that it wouldn't be a worthy pursuit anyways, because it wouldn't work anyways. There's this really weird thing, I think, in our society that writing a book is really cool. And my grandpa passed away at the beginning of this year, but I'm fairly certain that if I would have a book lying in bookstores, my grandpa would be more proud of me for the book than he would be of me, like, for my podcast or my Instagram account where I'm helping people every single day, because he doesn't understand the medium. And I'm convinced that somewhere in our brains, we still don't always believe in the power of social media, although in 2025, statistics say that social media is going to become bigger than TV. And we're all sitting here thinking, yeah, I know I should be creating content, yet we're doing it at the end of the day, or we're not taking it seriously enough. And I think, yes, parts of it have to do with imposter syndrome, but I think a really big part of it also has to do with the fact that we still don't take it seriously enough, and we still doubt if it would actually work. But what if it was guaranteed to work? What if you knew that you could 10x your revenue simply by 10xing your content? That could be the volume of your content, that could be the views of your content. What if it was a given that if you did all the right things, it worked? I think a lot more people would be taking action, but I think because it's still fairly new, a lot of people are still thinking like, yeah, videos, or yeah, like, should I even, make it such a big priority in my business? Shouldn't I be in my email inbox? Shouldn't I be, focusing on my clients, other stuff? And of course, focusing on our clients is really important, but I think sometimes just being confronted with someone who's done it helps so much. So last week I was in that session and I see this woman who's not that different from me, who's been killing it, who's been posting twice a day just because she really knows her target audience, and she has kept on going, and she's amassed over 5 million followers across platforms, and she's doing millions and millions in revenue. She's helping people all over the world. She has a New York Times bestseller. And I'm sitting there thinking, I want a New York Times bestseller. I want to be helping more people. I would love for my podcast to be in the top charts. But apparently, I needed proof that it could be done all over or something. I needed her to sit there telling me I don't really have a content plan. I just make sure I'm posting twice a day, content my target audience really, really loves. And I was confronted with the fact that I'm not doing that. I'm not going all in, because somewhere inside of my brain, there's this tiny little voice making me doubt if it would actually be worth my while. And it lit a fire under me. And that's when I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, this motivated me so much. I feel like I forgot that it worked. And I forgot that it's possible to build 1 million followers and stuff like that. And that building that amount of people actually creates a really big shift in your business. So I'm here today just inviting you into that same mindset shift. What if you could 10x your business? And what if there was a way you could start doing it right away today? And what if that way was simply you using your iPhone that you already have, or your smartphone and your laptop and the free medium like TikTok or Instagram, and you can just build that business? You can 10x your traffic. What if there was a secret that would 10x your business? Would you want to know what it is? I think you would want to know. The thing is, you already know, you're just afraid to go all in on it. So that's my invitation to you today, is go all in on content. Take it seriously. Basically accept that it works, and accept that you have everything you need and everything you need to know in order to 10x your traffic. All you need to do is become religiously consistent about the content that you are creating. And if you don't know where to start, or you don't have any inspiration, go and check out all of my episodes from October. I created Millionaire Content Secrets, like a series of 5 weeks with all kinds of episodes about content, what content to make, what content not to make. And if you're stuck on being more efficient with it, ChatGPT can really help you. I've been creating a lot of content with the help of ChatGPT, but I've also been just using my basic like empathy and thinking about my ideal client for content. But if you want my tutorial, I created a really good tutorial about how I turn every podcast episode into 10 pieces of content in less than 20 minutes a piece. So that means this episode is going to be turned into 10 pieces of content, and I'm going to be using ChatGPT for it. And I know you think, oh my God, but then it's going to be like the same type of like a tone of voice as everyone else. But I've created this prompt that teaches ChatGPT to do it in my tone of voice using my transcript. And the prompt helps it generate all of the content I need to promote the episode in under 20 minutes, and I'll gift it to you. All you need to do is go to my Instagram, FastForwardAmy, and DM me the word buddy. And if you DM me the word buddy, I'll send over the tutorial, including the Google Doc with the prompt that you can start using to start generating more content. So that's one side of it. I think that's one mindset shift, is how much energy are you wasting on debating whether it works, on debating whether it's worth your while. And I think we lose so much energy on thinking, is it worth our while? But we might as well be using that energy to actually go out and create the perfectly imperfect content. And then the other part of it that's wildly motivating is we're living in this world full of AI. And like I was just saying, I think in the next 12 months, we are in an incredibly, incredibly unique position. So I compared kind of like 2020 when the pandemic hit. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I remember, I think it was announced on a Thursday, and on the Friday morning, I drove to my apartment thinking, okay, like we're going to go in lockdown. All of these people are going to lose their jobs and they're not going to be able to open their businesses. And I had this idea of creating a course about how to turn your offline business into an online business for such a long time. And I was like, Amy, you owe it to these people to create this course now because they don't know what to do. So I drove home. First, I did an Instagram live to help people for free so they knew what to like pay attention to. And then I also sent out an email to my email list, both in English as well as in Dutch, like, hey, I know a lot of people like are basically fucked right now. In the upcoming week, I'm going to be creating a course that will teach you in 4 modules how to turn your offline business into an online business. And that's what I did exactly. Like that day I started selling, I'd set up everything just like very, very basic. That week I recorded those 2 courses, like the course in 2 languages. And what happened to my brain when the pandemic hit was, I was like, you know what? This is the time. We're going to be stuck at home. We're not going to have anything else to do. If there was ever a time to go all in on my online business, this is it. Because I can come out of this pandemic being like one of the most famous Belgian or Dutch business, like one of the most famous business coaches in Belgium or the Netherlands. Or I can come out of this thinking, oh, you know, I wish I would have used that time and actually did something worthwhile with it. And I just decided like, I'm going to come out on top. I know this was like a fleeting thought. I was like, I'm going to come out on top. And that's exactly what I did. And granted, I worked way too much. I gained a lot of stress weight, all of that. Like I became a true workaholic in that pandemic. It was not really good for my balance, but I did achieve things and helped so many people, actually come through that pandemic without going bankrupt. And I'm still incredibly proud of what I did. And I compare that time. 2020 was an incredible time for online businesses. And I think right now on the verge of entering 2025, we are in a little bit of the same situation, not because of the pandemic, but because of the growth of AI, which can help you in 2 ways. One way AI is going to help you in 2025 is that you can save so much time and you can do so much more without having to spend money on team members. So I used to have to pay someone to create a transcript of my podcast and then to create a blog post and then an email. It cost me so much money and time to create all of the content from my podcast. Whereas now you can use AI for basically anything. We're only just touching the surface, like the tutorial I'm gifting to you about using ChatGPT for your content. That's just basically like, just like one tiny, tiny thing you can do with it. I'm only starting to discover everything I can do with it as well. But I think if I look back on everything I had to hand make in 2020 and even before that, I realized like, holy shit, if I would have had AI, I would have been unstoppable back then. And that's you right now. You get to be unstoppable as you are building your business or your online business. It doesn't matter, because having AI there for you to create your business, it's incredible. The opportunities that is giving you. Truly, truly incredible. So you need to go all in on that. And then the flip side of this is that as everyone is going to be using more and more AI, personal brands and putting personality and authenticity into your content is going to stand out more than ever, because a lot of people are going to use AI the wrong way. There's going to be a lot of noise. So if you show up with a personal brand and you show a lot of realness, transparency, authenticity, and you really create content along your values, you're really going to stand out. So this is an incredible time to use your voice to stand out, to gain 10x the traffic for your business that you're getting right now. And I think it would be a real shame if you didn't jump on the train right now. So my hope with this episode is basically, and I hope the audio is okay, is that you stop holding back. You start going all in, and you give yourself a year to go all in. In the next 12 months, you just decide, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to stop saying I'm going to do something and then not doing it. And I want us to do it together. I want you to show up for your dreams. I want you to show up for your business, because this is an incredible time. And 3 years from now, you're going to say, damn it, I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have taken this seriously sooner. Time will pass anyways, so might as well make the most of it as that time is passing. I hope you liked this episode. I'll be back next week, Tuesday, with another episode. And yeah, as I said, AI can really be an advantage to you right now. Volume is important, but quality as well. And I think if you use ChatGPT the right way, you can really do a lot with it. And there's a bunch of other tools you can use a lot along the same lines, something like that. But if you don't know where to start, I would say come and grab my tutorial. I'm even gifting you my Google Doc prompt that you can use to start generating all of the deliverables you need. The only thing you need to do is just DM me the word buddy, BUDDY. Is it Y? Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Why? Because it's my content buddy tutorial where I'm teaching you exactly how you can turn one video or a podcast into 10 pieces of content in under 20 minutes, okay? See you on the inside of that tutorial, and see you next week in a new episode. Bye!